Hey, it's Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co., and it's time for an unboxing of Nemesis Wave 1, which begs the question what we'll do when Wave 2 arrives, because, well, let's start off this. So, we have Wave 1, we have some boxes, some stuff, some comics, some things. Let's go ahead and do this. Of course, coffee shot as usual, because I like coffee. I say that every time, but it doesn't get old. I'm going to go ahead and throw these boxes. It doesn't get old for me, to clarify. Now, as usual, this is going to be an unboxing and rambling, which means that I am just going to be talking about various things. Some things related to Nemesis, some things not, because that's just how these things go. To start off with, well, coffee, because it is 12:30 at night, but that doesn't stop me. But I had someone ask me recently whether I do all my videos at night. Like, I have kids. Do I do all my videos at night? Now, first of all, those who actually listen closely to the various videos will know that there's enough noise in the background in some of these videos that I definitely don't do all of them at night. Because as much as I like, well, the quiet, the silence, not having to worry about the fact that my studio is a basement with no door, well, it is nice to be able to do something at night, but I can't do everything at night. So let's go ahead and unbox this over here and come back to things. Nemesis. Don't want to read the rules? Watch the video. Nemesis.com, learn. I actually haven't played Nemesis yet, and I think I would watch the video. I know the general idea of the game. I know the general idea of the slightly semi-co-op aspect of the game, the various goals you have as you race through the spaceship trying to ultimately get out or achieve whatever your goal is. Maybe that's escaping, maybe that's killing people, maybe you're the aliens. Who knows what the actual choice is as you try to go through and create this story, this narrative. That's where my knowledge kind of ends. The gameplay mechanics, I don't know. The game rules don't look that long, although it does very much fall into the typical Awakened Realms standard, which tends to be a little text-heavy. I don't know what the feedback on this rulebook was in general. Like Lords of Hellas, which is a game that I recently had the opportunity to play. I will have a review and coverage on that one soon. But Lords of Hellas is a game that I thought the rulebook was fine. I believe the feedback is kind of mixed on that one in terms of the rulebook. I thought it was fine. Could have been better, could have been worse, but certainly not a problem. Either fields, I agree with the general complaints around, and ISS Vanguard is prototype, so I don't really consider that a fair gauge of anything. But let's go ahead and move this box to the side. But have I played anything else by Awakened Realms? I've played... What do they have? I've played Edge of Darkness, or whatever it is, Dawnfall, War Chest, that's what it is, War Chest, not Edge of Darkness, something else. I played War Chest, it's called something else, Dawnfall, the Edge, Dawnfall, War Chest, that's what it is. So you have all these wars in my head, they eventually make sense. We have some locations, some various room tiles, if we punch one out, that's decent plastic, not plastic, cardboard, the card has a decent level of thickness to it. But yeah, the Edge Dawnfall wasn't that bad either. I remember reading through that was pretty easy. Again, they do tend to be a little bit, I've read better rulebooks, but with the exception of either fields, I don't think I've really had complaints so much as, hey, yes, that could be better. We have the mechanic and the captain over here. Just face different directions, all cool. They do have very much, so far from what I'm seeing on the board, they do have very much the typical Awakened Realms feel. We have the scientist and pilot as well. We have the scout and soldier. So we have scout and soldier over here. More characters, more gauge to the various options you can take. We have some sort of a box stand over here, and a first player token. The cat, because of course we do, which I don't have the plushie for. We'll have to see what we can do with that. But let's go ahead and add that, and then the board. Let's put the board out, because why not? We'll put these underneath here, because we can. Box on top, like so. We'll go through the box shortly, but let's take a look at the board. Move the coffee out of the way, that is still important. 12:30 at night does still need coffee. And we have this double-sided. It looks double-sided. Ooh, it's double-sided. Okay, so we have the board. This is representing the alien spaceship. Now, I remember I saw one person who really went all out. Look at this thing. This is a little bit off camera. If we move this to the side, we can probably get it all on camera. But I remember seeing one person. It's very dark. A little darker than I thought it was. It functions, it's fine. We have all these corridors you're going through. Definitely on the dark side. Now, I did recall seeing someone who built their own complete 3D board that looked absolutely insane. There are people and their games, the fans of different IPs, different titles, the lengths they go to make things look amazing is insane. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at this core box. So, we have the box up over there. That'll go straight into the lid. We have the decoder card, the initiation procedure to see if people are infected. You slide the card into here. We have the silica pack, which will go on the floor. We have the various, that will actually be picked up later. We have the token stands over there. And these miniatures are beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Fully sun-dropped everything. Whoa. Okay, let's go ahead and do some of this stuff over here, because this stuff... Is there a top level here? Oh, man. Okay, cool. This is why we're doing an unboxing, because these are insane. Now, I remember saying, I did a Should You Back video on the whole lockdown, and I remember saying that, wow, okay, these are insane. These are some gorgeous sculpts. The sun drop on this is beautiful. Is it focusing? I think it's focusing. It's hard to know for sure. You see, Jesse was just here, and that means when Jesse's here, he messes with my cameras to make them all, you know, manual focus so you can do what he wants. But then I go ahead and use them after. And I wasted in a complete video once because I thought that things were on autofocus when they were on manual focus. Well, we're going to leave that a little off to the side because I kind of want to introduce things slowly. This is so... I'm sorry, this is pretty. Okay, we'll come back to this stuff in a second. We got the gorgeous cubes, because cubes, I don't know if gorgeous is the right word. These don't rip as easy as I would think they would, so we're going to go ahead and do that. That's the nice part of having a little knife for you. I'm going to add these to the... They are nice cubes, I mean, they're cubes. But I remember, so going back to what I was saying a second ago, so I remember doing the Kickstarter. We have these little tokens, fun tokens. Doing the Kickstarter, I remember saying that I recommend Sundrop in general. Not always, not if you're sure you're keeping the game. If you're sure you're keeping the game, then only get Sundrop if you know, think you actually want it for yourself. But if you're not sure if you're keeping the game, and you're more on the fence of, like, should I get it, should I not, and you're willing to pay for the Sundrop, then I do recommend Sundrop because the people... If you don't like the game, there will be a subset of people, especially with an IP like, not an IP, I guess it's an IP, especially with an IP like Nemesis, there will be a subset of people who choose not to get the game in Sundrop when it's on the Kickstarter, when it's on the GameFound or Kickstarter campaign. I think Lockdown was Awaken Realms' last big Kickstarter before they switched to GameFound, so this is actually correct. It was GameFound. It was Kickstarter, so you gotta do that in the right direction. And I recommended getting Sundrop because there'll be like a subset of people, however many people there are, 5,000, it might be a large subset, who want to save money, so they get the base game, they love the game, and now they're seeking out copies of Sundrop, and they can't get their hands on it, and they'll be searching for it on the secondhand market, because from those 5,000, 1,000 will just be fine without it, 1,000 will trade somehow for the miniatures, and there'll be at least some portion of people who want to buy your Sundrop copy of the game at more than what you paid for it, because it's their only option, really. So I do recommend Sundrop in general for those reasons. I think that you get some solid... These miniatures are absolutely gorgeous. These guys are the tiny guys. These are going to be very reminiscent of the heroes I've just played in Lords of Hellas. So Lords of Hellas is a game I got to the table a few weeks ago. Since then I got to the table another 2 times. Still enjoying it. I will have a review coming soon. Especially because GameFound has an announcement for Lords of Ragnarok. So I have to play Lords of Hellas now. I haven't played any of the expansion content. I'm not going to wait around to do that. I've noticed a regular trend in my life is when I sit there and say, you know what, I'll just play with the expansion first and then I'll cover it. I would say 9 times out of 10, the coverage gets pushed off for months, and in some cases, I still haven't done it. So I think I'm not going to wait around to try all the expansion content for Lords of Hellas. I do have an all-in pledge of it, but I actually didn't back that game. I traded for it after the fact. I traded for it because... right around, it's actually interesting, good timing-wise, my descent into Kickstarter madness started right around the time of, I want to say, Cthulhu Death May Die. I think that was the first time where I not only backed a Kickstarter, but then started actively looking to see what else can I back. And around that time, I actually reached out to Awaken Realms back then, and I said, hey, I see this Lords of Hellas game and Nemesis game that hadn't fully delivered yet in both cases, and I wanted in on them. And in both cases, I got, unfortunately, I'm sorry, the pledge manager is closed. Like, I reached out. I contacted info at whatever. I don't know what their email is. It's a long time ago. But I contacted a bunch of things. I was trying to get in all the late pledges back then because I was getting excited about all the potential for games that I was missing out on. And so Nemesis I didn't get at the time. But I did trade for a copy later. A base copy. I never played it. I'll explain in a second. I never played it. These guys are messed up. These are going to be crawlers of some sort. Look at them. Just the aliens crawling around the ship. The blue is haunting. I absolutely love it. I remember looking at the campaign pages before I really knew Kickstarter, knew much about it. It's going to be 3 of those crawlers. We got some of these guys, some of these tiny little guys. And I looked at the campaign page, and I was so pulled in by this game, and I was so intrigued. And I started watching the coverage and the previews for Nemesis. And I was very sad when they said, unfortunately, there's no more late pledges. It's too late for that window. We got 2 of these guys. Again, absolutely gorgeous. Look at these guys. if you're comparing sundropped to non-sundropped on these, it's not even remotely close. The job they're doing, I just reviewed I unboxed Storm Sunder Stormwash on the Storm Sunder miniatures, and I really like those. This is not better or worse. This is different. The degree of color that they give these is so much better than what I've seen from Awakened Realms in the past. Like, I've seen their Sundropped Lords of Hellas stuff because I have it, and this is such a degree of upgrade from it. It's so ridiculously good. It's beautiful. It's hauntingly beautiful. So we got some of those. I don't know which I showed you already, so I'm going to show you all these again. And I'll show you the Queen as well, and then of course the expansion boxes. But then, yeah, I wasn't able to get Nemesis. I traded for a copy later, and that copy I never got to the table because right after I traded for the copy, I had the copy for like a few months before they announced that they're going to have a renewed Kickstarter for a lockdown. And I was like, yay, I just got my copy. So I turned around and I sold it because in general, and I might be doing this even with Wild Descent, which I really like, but in general, if I can sell the copy that I have now because it's not getting played anyway, and then get it back on the Kickstarter, I'll do so. Sell it while the market's hot, because why not? And then get it back on the Kickstarter. So I sold my Nemesis, but while I was able to, I sold the whole Kickstarter pledge I had. I think I just had a base box plus Aftermath. I hadn't really gone through it. It was not sundropped. This is so much better. It's ridiculous. Look at this. The Queen Mother herself. Look at that. Probably should have zoomed in more on the front camera. Maybe I will. No, it's okay. You know what? Yeah, let's go ahead and zoom in a bit. Yep, there we go. Okay, there we go. But yeah, that's going to be that. And then we have this up top. See, now I'm zoomed in too much. Now my head's, you can't see it from the front because I'm looking at the top right now. But I'm kind of glancing. You see, now I go head out of camera. You see, that's the downside. Okay, cool. That's base box. We got some cards. I'll open some cards. I'm not going to open all the cards. I don't do the cards as much because this is not really a full, check out every single thing. This is more just a conversation about different stuff. But yeah, so I saw my Nemesis, was able to, I can't remember what I got for it, but I was able to get more than it should have costed, and then I used that and put it straight into Lockdown to get all the Lockdown stuff, to get a full pledge of Lockdown. I'm going to zoom out of the camera a bit more again. Yep, there we go. Okay, cool. That's a good middle ground. But yeah, we have cards over here. So it just makes me awkward, and every time I think I'm picking up my head, it messes me up. So we have Search over here, we have Rest, we have Reload, add 1 ammo to your 6-shooter. We have Search, reduce the item counter by 1. Demolition, destroy 1 closed door in a corridor connected to the room you're in, or place a malfunction marker in the room you're in. Pyrotechnics, Search, Rest, Demolition, Repairs, Computer. Now remember, I wonder where they put this. They probably put it in the Lockdown stuff because this is all the Wave 1. The card art is beautiful, by the way. Absolutely beautiful. Like, the hauntingly beautiful vibe. While I think the board is too dark, at least just at a glance so far, the cards are gorgeous. Full auto. Discard all ammo from the assault rifle to perform a shoot action. You deal 1 additional injury for every 2 ammo discarded, even if you miss. Lots of fun little things you can do here. Ooh, and here we have our contamination cards. So this is fun. So let's go ahead and see if I'm contaminated. I'm going to go ahead and lock this in. I hope this works with sleeves, because if it doesn't, that'd be sad. And this person is... Whoa, look at this. I don't know if you can see this. Can you see that? I don't know if you can. But when you put that in there, you can see that that person is infected. Infected. Whoa. And you can't see a thing this way. Of course, you may not have been able to see anything anyway. So either way, those will be the contamination cards. That's fun. We'll put these away. I'll go through all the cards at some point when I sleeve this. Although I should probably play the game first. I haven't played this game. Have I told you that? I think I have. So let's put this away. So that was going to be Nemesis, a game that I tried to get, wasn't able to, then was able to trade for a used copy, and then after that sold the used copy to basically fund, the first half of my pledge of Lockdown, of going not all in, because going all in on Lockdown would have been a bit insane, the sheer amount of content they had, but definitely getting a decent amount of stuff for it. Ooh, gotta get the box trays, gotta find those lids before we put that away. For Lords of Hellas, I had to as well trade for a pledge. I traded for one a while ago, managed to get all in of that as well. That one I sat on my shelf for a long time unplayed, like a really long time unplayed. But then, fortunately, in the past, let's put this in over here. Fortunately, about 3-4 weeks ago, I got to play for the first time. Then had to wait a few weeks till we got some people for it, but got 2 more plays of it in. Forgot to put the box in, because why not? Let's do that as well. And so I think I want to get at least 1 more play in before I review it, but yeah, I want to get at least 1 more play in before I review it, but we'll see how it goes there. It's one that I am enjoying a lot so far. I will not be playing the expansion content before I review it. The expansion content has a lot of stuff. Some of it's just more heroes, more monsters, more things like that. And other of it's like some gameplay changes, like the way you could have these fully customizable armies, the way you could add board extensions and more gods, or the more like, you know, Zeus or whoever. Zeus is in the main game, but more of the various Apollo or whoever to the board. All fun stuff for the game. Let's go ahead and read some more stuff. So I don't like booster packs, because where do you put them? I mean, I'll put them somewhere in the box. Of course, once I decide I like this, I will, of course, condense everything. This is going to be the meta character, which is not opening from that side as nicely as I'd like. Here we go. Okay, that probably fit well into the little divot that I had right here. So we're going to put this on the ground, and we will put the medic into the base box, because there's room for it. So, we got the meta character. I don't know how different she is. She has basic actions, crafting, flamethrower, Molotov cocktail. I want to play this game. I'm going to play this game with Jesse, okay? I'm going to make Jesse admit that this is indeed a game. Although he likes Lockdown. He was kind of mixed on Nemesis. He's had fun playing it, but also not fun at the same time. He views it more as an experience than a game, which I've heard from a lot of people does not dissuade me. For me, Cosmic Encounter, and I've gotten flack for comparing Awakened Realms to comparing Nemesis to Cosmic Encounter in the past. But Cosmic Encounter is a game that I've always played, not because I want to play the game, but because I enjoyed the story of the game. Then again, I didn't keep Cosmic Encounter, so we'll see how Nemesis goes. I mean, this is like the number 23 on Board Game Geek or something. That's insanity. Nemesis, Untold Stories 1. Ooh, Alexander Shosov, Peter Forsers, Christoph Piskorski. I apologize for all the names I've butchered. Ooh, this is a full-on comic. Ooh, I'm gonna have to read this. Cooperative campaign. Wait, this is a campaign? Oh, this is... Wait, what is this? Welcome to the Nemesis comic book campaign. This unique set of 4 branching missions was created for a group of 2 to 5 players using only the core box components of the game and a set of special tokens that you received with this booklet. That must be what those are over there. See, I wasn't sure what these are. I thought these were like replacements or something. We got these tokens over here. Cool. Okay. That's going to be interesting. We'll play through that. We have, doing the missions, the rules will often ask to put specific event tokens in various places on the board. That's on the board over there. These event tokens are then used to trigger scenes found in the comic. For example, if you trigger the event 1, then go to event 1 of this mission, read it, and apply any rules found there. Ooh, this is cool. I did not realize what this was. I did not realize what Untold Stories was. I thought it was just straight up a comic. Cool. Campaign stuff. Campaign stuff is cool. Okay, so let's talk about this week. This week is going to be packed. So let's give you some context to what is going up this week on the channel. Probably should have started this at the beginning of the video, because then you'd probably stick around. Okay, cool. We got this. We have Nemesis Untold Stories 2. This probably uses the Kickstarter content. Let's see. Overview. This is the blah, blah, blah. All use standard rules. Okay, add-on. Uses proceed. There's additional setup story. Cosmic events. It doesn't seem to say at a glance. This might use the additional content just because if the base one uses the core content, I'm sure people wanted to use the additional content as well. Okay, let's talk about this week. This week on the channel is going to be absolutely packed. I got a lot going on. In fact, that's why I'm filming this at 12:30 at night, because I got Nemesis and I was like, when can I do an unboxing video? And I didn't have a good window for it. So I figured I'll do it today. Because earlier today, on the channel, we had a Scarface 1920 Should You Back It? Feel free to watch that. It went up earlier today. I want to throw a link. It's on the channel. Just check it out. Then... Monday is going to be the regular to back or not to back. When I wake up in a few hours, I'm going to start finishing all the research of the various campaigns that I haven't looked into yet, because I've done a bunch. So we have like a bunch of campaigns. It's a busy week, and next week's going to be even busier, I think. We'll see. Lots of stuff popping up next week. Here we have the game manual for Nemesis, Carnomorphs. Ooh, so much beautiful content. Okay, we're going to see what we have here. This stuff's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Not the rules. The rules are just rules. But I'm looking forward to what I'm about to see over here. Oh, it's pretty. It's pretty. They're different colors, which is nice. I thought they were. I vaguely recall seeing other people's copies, and I remember seeing these as different colors. So, let's talk about what we have going up. These are going to be so hard to get in and out of the box, because I don't even know where they go. Whoa. Okay. So, I like the blue better, but I like having the variety too. Carnomorphs. Imagine these invading your spaceship. I have to start getting rid of more games. I'm running out of space in this basement. This is not okay. It's just a problem. I have too many games that I like, and some of these I'm going to start making really hard choices about. I'm going to have a Zombicide leaving soon, by the way. Zombicide 2nd Edition is going to be leaving because we continue playing. Oh, I'll talk about it. I'll talk about it soon. Give a little bit of a spoiler of what's being in the leaving the collection video for this month. We'll see. Going back to this week, so Monday's going to be to back or not to back. Lots of the usual stuff there. No other additional videos that day. On Tuesday, we're going to have, we got some small guys, got some little spider bots. I love spider bots. Spider bots are always cool. Tuesday's going to be a packed day. Okay, we're going to have at least 3, possibly 4 videos. It depends on what goes up on when. We are going to have, this one I already showed you. That one we already showed you. There's actually only a few sculpts in this box. Not a ton of sculpt variety, but fun stuff. Tuesday is going to be, Tuesday is going to be Velocity Vanguard. I'm going to have coverage for Velocity Vanguard. That's a Kickstarter that's going up. It's a relaunch. Really enjoyed that one. It is a very unique movement system going on in that game. That's going to be Velocity Vanguard. I will also have coverage for Scarface 1920. We're going to have a gameplay video for that. There will be a review going up on Saturday, probably. I have to double check exactly what goes up when, but I think that's the schedule. Then we also will have, there'll be game, and some of these things will have different gameplays and different channels. So Crackle will have some gameplays. I'll have some gameplays, reviews, all that stuff. We have, speaking of Awakened Realms, which I'm doing right now, we have Awakened Realms Lite has their game platformer going up on GameFound. I will have a review of that as well. That one's it's in the Awakened Realms Lite category. It's an interesting one. So it's lots of fun, but also I don't know how often it'll get played. So like I put it as a, well, you can watch the review. You'll see. I gave it a review. We did the gameplay and all that as well. Gameplay over on Quackalope. We have the, what is this again? This is going to be the Voidseekers expansion. And there's one more I'm missing for Tuesday. Not Distilled. Distilled is going up next week. There's one more I'm missing for Tuesday. I don't know. The rules in all these are fairly light. Look fairly light. So, now it's going to bug me. What am I missing for Tuesday? Because we have Scarface, Velocity Vanguard, Platformer, and there's a 4th. Oh, Wild Ascent. Wild Ascent Levon Rising. Okay, let's talk about Wild Ascent. That is a big deal. Look at this. More beautiful miniatures. Is this 2-layered? This looks like it's 2-layered. Nope, it's 1-layered. Is there a board underneath? No board underneath. So we got our cars, we got our usual stuff, we got the thingies. So let's talk about Wild Ascent Levon Rising. Speaking of which, also going up on GameFound. Ooh, there's no base for this guy. That guy just goes like that. No base. That's like breaking all kinds of normal industry standards, Awakened Realms. Look at you being all innovative. The blue is still my favorite, by the way, just for the record. The blue is absolutely still my favorite, but these are still cool. Okay, so we have, going back to, oh, these are, let me show you that one last. We'll do this over here. But yeah, Levon Rising. Levon Rising is excellent, okay? It basically took Wild Ascent and made it better. Like, for me and for Jesse. And I say for me and for Jesse, for Quackalope, because I loved Wild Ascent from the get-go. Not from the get-go. I really liked it, and then as I played into it more and more, I enjoyed it more. And by the time I got to my 3rd mission of the campaign, that's when I was, like, really, really into it. We have some of these eggs over here. Oh, beautiful. But then Jesse, on the other hand, Quackalope, I played it with him. I played this few scenarios with him, and he wasn't sold. I think he was looking at more for the Kingdom of Death Monster side, and I don't think it holds a candle to the Kingdom of Death Monster depth of gameplay, the depth of the encampment or the settlement phase, the depth of the monster AI. I don't think it holds a similar standard. For myself, having never played Kingdom of Death, I was looking for something accessible over something deep and detailed, and it very much delivered. But Levon Rising, Jesse had a chance to play it with me, and he really liked it. Like, we finished our gameplay, and he's like, we gotta do a review of it. Because he really, really enjoyed it. It's mostly the same gameplay from Wild Ascent. I think 2 things happened. First of all, the story, the branching narrative pathways in the campaign, significantly better. Significantly better. Whatever your expectations were about the story aspect, like I just saw One Stop Core Shop put a review, a 5 and 5 on Wild Ascent. You should watch that, by the way, because he's not as head over heels into it as I am, and that's good. That's good. You want to have different opinions. You want to have people who are going to tune you back. Like, I'll be critical of things that I don't love, or critical is the wrong word. I'll give you the pros and cons of anything. But yes, when I like a game, I'm hyped about the game, and the pros come through more. But this is a game that I like. But you want to find that opposing viewpoint. You want to find that other game, that other people who played it and weren't so into it. Now, I know Jeremy Howard really liked it. I know Rolling Solo really liked it. I know that I really liked it. And it seems like Colin from One Stop Core Shop, Mike, not Colin, Mike from One Stop Core Shop was less sold on it. He didn't dislike it, to be very clear. Watch it yourself. You can watch it and check it out. But he definitely was more mixed on it. And he, too, compared it. Ooh, we got the Space Cat! Yay! Oh, my daughter, Ricky's gonna love this. Okay. But he was more mixed on the gameplay, and one of the cons he gave it, I don't disagree, I just don't care, is that he said the campaign has no life. It's just 10 missions in a row, and then, if you want, there's a story-based campaign, but you play through it once and you're done. And I agree with him. He's right. I just don't care that much about story. I'm in it for the gameplay and the mechanics, and to the point that I was given a choice between the story-based campaign and the basic campaign, and I chose the basic campaign. I'll dive back in for the story at some point, but initially I was like, let me just go ahead and get the mechanics out of the way first. I'll deal with story later. Now, the story they do have is very linear, and I really hope that Mike has a chance to play Levon Rising, because the story there is so much fun. It is so ridiculously good. Like, it's branching storylines. Like, stuff like, oh my gosh, watch our review, you'll see. But Jesse was, I think he liked it a lot more, both because he has a story that is more to his calling, more to his tastes, as well as because of the fact that his expectations were more accurately set, having now played it and no longer expecting Kingdom Death Monster. I think a big part of it for a lot of people might be that if you're expecting Kingdom Death Monster, I think you'll be disappointed. I do not think the game gives you Kingdom Death Monster. I think it gives you Kingdom Death Monster Light. And I think that will be a factor for many people. And that should be a factor for you too, by the way. Whatever degree you're expecting from Wild Descent, understand what it is and isn't before you back it. And hopefully between my review, Jeremy Howard, I don't think King of Average has done anything yet. I know he has a copy, but keep your eyes peeled. He may have something in time for the campaign. We'll see. I know Legion of Games is also going to have something. Lots of people to keep an eye on. Lots of content, but look into it. I do like Lazy Squire Games. It's one of the Kickstarters that I backed when I started getting into Kickstarters. I was very excited for it. I'm still excited for their stuff. But at the same time, there is going to be a lead time on getting their stuff, because they put out these campaigns that are ambitious, and they have so far had delays. And I believe you'll get everything you back, but I believe it'll come with delays, and so factor that into your decision. Also, it's expensive. The Levon Rising All-In, they just announced it, is going to be like, I think it's like $370. I don't know if that's the all-in or the main pledge. It gives you a lot of content. It gives you like 8 boxes worth of content. It's cool. And some of the most gorgeous miniatures I've seen. But also it's $370, and that's before shipping and delays and who knows what. I'll be getting it because I really, really like the system. And I would say if you're trying to be budget conscious, just get Levon Rising. Actually, I don't even know if you could. I need to find out. I wasn't clear if you could just get Levon Rising. I think you might have to get everything. I'll figure that out later. This video is not, I mean, surprisingly to you, this video is not about Levon Rising. It's about Nemesis. So, Nemesis. I hope to get this to the table as soon as I can. It is going to be added to the very, very big backlog of things that I need to table. But I'm trying to get as much stuff done as possible so that I actually could. I have, like I said already, Lords of Hellas. I'll have a review coming soon. I want to get something for that, so you have some sort of context or opinion before the GameFound is. I mean, that one has a lot of coverage. That one's in the top, 200 on Board Game Geek, which is not top 23, but it's nothing to sneeze at. For me, I've cooled on it a bit, because I told you, at one point I said that it has the potential to beat Blood Rage. It still has the potential to beat Blood Rage. I need to experience it more. But I think, if Blood Rage is here and Lords of Hellas started off here and I could see it going up, it's probably gone down to over here. Not a big dip, don't make me wrong, but it's one that multiple plays, I'm still really enjoying the puzzle, but that fresh smack in the face of look how cool this thing is a little bit gone, and the gameplay is still solid, still engaging, still some solid material there, but we'll see how it actually ends up over time. Some of these things require over time. It's actually an interesting conversation. It's the end of the unboxing. We're done already, by the way. I don't know why you're still here, but thank you. But there's a concept out there called review drift. It's popping up on forums. Johnny Pack is the first person who posted it. He posted an article from a different industry entirely about the concept of review drift. Review drift, and I'm going to be doing a full video, but this is just about the concept. It's the concept and the idea that reviewers of a product often are not reviewing it in the way a product is utilized. The most basic example is going to be, and it's not just about number of plays, by the way, because let's say you play a game, and I've seen this. I saw this about, let's bring this to Awakened Realms, okay? Let's talk about a few different aspects. Etherfields is a game, or Isis Vanguard, let's use Isis Vanguard. Isis Vanguard is a game that I reviewed about roughly 8 to 10 hours of gameplay. But it's meant to be 20 to 30 hours of gameplay, if not more, especially with special content. So shouldn't you play it all to be able to give an accurate formation of an opinion? Then the flip side is something like Etherfields, where I shut them sit down, played it for 12 hours before giving up. But they played it for 12 hours across the course of a week. And I saw comments saying, hey, that's not the way you should play it. You shouldn't be powering through these things. You need to let them breathe a little bit. So it's not always about just letting a game be played more times. Sometimes it's a factor. But also it's a factor of the length of time, the engagement of how often it is. Really, realistically, you should be reviewing a game 6 months later. You've had the opportunity to play it, to engage with it, to let it breathe, to let it sit, to let your hype cool down, to let your disappointment cool down, to stabilize. Because that's really what an ideal opinion should be. And so we have this market where reviewers aren't doing that. Myself included, I'm not doing that. I'm not reviewing a game 6 months later. I mean, sometimes yes, if I review one of my favorites off the shelf, sure. But if I get a game to talk about, to play, to review, especially for a Kickstarter that I'm trying to get the coverage out soon, I play it like a few times. And then depending on the game, it'll vary. But like generally, I would say between 3 to 6 plays is generally the range of what I'm getting. It depends, it varies, but somewhere in that range. And then I'm reviewing it, which is not necessarily the information you're looking for. But also, that's sometimes the timelines we're looking at. And that's, if we really wanted to wait 6 months, then you'd have to wait 6 months for a review. Imagine being able to buy a game today and no reviewers are putting out content for 6 months. Because that's when it's the most accurate. So it is a real problem. It is a real problem in terms of the review landscape of trying to balance that. I will be talking about it in a full video because I don't think it's an easily solvable problem, and I welcome ideas. For my part, I do always talk about the games leaving my collection, and I do plan on doing what Tom Vassell does, which I think is great, which is talking about the game a year later. Like, I reviewed it then, and let's see how it holds up. Granted, those things tend to get lost a little bit. The reviews are focused on first, even though the review might be a less ideal picture. Like, One Stop Color Shop has the same thing. I've talked about this as well. One Stop Color Shop also has, games leaving his collection 6 months from later. It's a toss-up. Sometimes they'll talk about a game. They'll say, this is a great game, really enjoyed it. And 6 months later, it's gone. Doesn't mean that things change. It just means things change over time. You're getting the now opinion and the later opinion. Those are both good data points. And the later opinion, if you want to wait for that, then you can't use it unless you're buying the game 6 months down the road. It's whatever. I'm getting into a whole deep dive of this video. I'll be doing a full video at some point on review drift. I think it's an important conversation. I don't see any easy answers in the conversation. That is the material. My point now is that we have a Nemesis, which I'll be trying to get to the table soon. Not a major rush on this because there's not like an active Kickstarter coming in soon. Levon, Wild Ascent I will have, not Wild Ascent, I did it already. You haven't seen it yet. You'll see it later this week. Oh, what else we have? Wednesday is going to be, I don't know. Oh, Wednesday's going to be Wild Ascent, should you back it? Thursday, I don't know. I have it on a calendar, it's not in front of me. Friday, I don't know. There'll be stuff this week. It's a busy week. I'm trying to cram as much as possible into these videos. I'm just too many videos. In any case, thanks for sticking around for an extra like 7 minutes after the unboxing. I don't know why you did, but it's always fun to have you here. Until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. It's 1 o'clock at night. I still have half a cup of coffee. I will finish this and then head to bed. Coffee doesn't actually keep me up, by the way. I just like it. Until next time, have a good one.